Today is the best time I've ever seen to get into wholesaling real estate. Prices are at all-time highs, and buyers are willing to pay crazy amounts to get properties. On top of that, there's more money being printed than ever, and interest rates are at all-time lows. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you all of the top ways to find these buyers for your wholesale deals. And to give you a sneak peek, there are some brand new softwares that you'll wanna know about. If you're new to my channel, my name's Ryan Pineda. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I've flipped hundreds of homes, I own hundreds of rentals, and I have multiple businesses doing millions a year in profit. And I just launched a brand new project called The Wealthy Way, where I'm giving away everything for free. You can get access to my Wealth Builder Academy, the Wealthy Way Planner, and our Discord community completely for free by going to wealthyway.com. Now let's talk about wholesaling and finding buyers. Back when I started in 2015 flipping houses, there was something called the 70% rule. And what the 70% rule said was, for anyone flipping a house, you should be buying the house at 70% of the ARV minus repairs. So for those of you who don't know, the ARV is the after repair value. So let's just say the ARV is $300,000. You'd have to get it for 70% of that, which would be $210,000, then minus the repairs, call it $30,000. That would mean as a flipper, your max offer was gonna be $180,000 for that particular deal. Now, if a flipper got a deal like that today, they'd be throwing a party because nobody follows that rule anymore. Wholesalers and realtors and everyone else just knows there's such a huge demand that they would never need to sell a deal that cheap. And as my career has evolved, I've seen it go up year after year. I started out using that 70% rule, then it became the 75% rule, then the 80% rule, then the 85% rule. And now it's gotten to the point where it's really crazy because I see some people paying 90%, even 100%. So the reason that I mentioned that in the start of this video is that you don't need a crazy deal to wholesale it. In fact, you could just get a normal deal, and if you're good enough at finding buyers, you can move it. There are many buyers who are purchasing based on speculation that it's gonna appreciate, and there are some who are just looking to hold a property and they need a tax write-off, and so they're willing to pay a lot more. So the point is, people are paying crazy amounts for real estate right now, so you don't need some really deeply discounted deal to make money as a wholesaler. In fact, you could probably just get an average deal and you're still gonna make a lot of money as long as you find the right buyer. So first, let's break down the 4 different types of buyers that you can find. There are the flippers, the landlords, the owner-occupieds, and the hedge funds. So obviously the flipper is buying the house to fix it up, get it sold really fast, and make a profit. And so for them, they're gonna be the ones who pay the least amount for a property because they need to make a profit in a very short period of time. They typically don't have the benefit of waiting for years of appreciation or principal paydown like someone else would. Now, even though they're willing to pay the least, the benefit is they're willing to buy more deals than the rest of the people I'm gonna explain. So there is give and take. If you have to sell to a flipper, then sell to a flipper. But if you're able to sell to one of these other people, then sell to them because they're gonna pay more. So the second group I mentioned was landlords. Now, landlords have the benefit of holding onto a property for years. They don't need to make money on the sale right away. So if you can find somebody who wants to buy the house and rent it out, whether it be a long-term rental, whether it be a short-term rental or an Airbnb, doesn't really matter. Point is, since they are renting it, they're typically willing to pay more because they don't need to profit right away. The third type of buyer is an owner-occupied. Now, this is somebody who's gonna pay more than everybody because they're gonna go move into it. They're not looking at profiting from it at all. They just really need a place to live. They might like the area, they might like the house, and so they're willing to pay more. Now, obviously, these buyers are much harder to do. Typically, you have to buy the house first, get it fixed up, and flip it to sell it to one of these people. But on occasions, we have found realtors who had clients who were ready to buy the property, and we are able to assign it to them at full market value. So don't ever discount somebody wanting to live in a home. And that leads to the last group of buyers that you're gonna be looking for, which are the hedge funds or iBuyers. Now, all hedge funds and all iBuyers have different prerogatives of what they're trying to do. You might have seen one of my other videos on how Zillow has gotten out of iBuying because they were just not very good at flipping houses at scale. But there are still companies like Opendoor and OfferPad who are flipping houses and paying really high prices to flip. For them, they're not trying to make a big profit like a normal flipper would. They just want to do a ton of volume and get market share, so they're not concerned about really profiting right now. But outside of iBuyers, there are also hedge funds who are buying in your area. Their buy box is very strict. Many of them are looking for houses built in certain years, in certain neighborhoods, and that are gonna get a certain return. As long as it meets their criteria, they're willing to pay top dollar for it. In some cases, I've seen hedge funds pay above market value to get a property they really like. So as you can see, when you're wholesaling, there's a wide range of people you could be selling to, and they're all willing to pay vastly different amounts because they have different exit strategies. So then the question becomes, after you know who these people are, how do you go about finding them? Well, one way to do it is through simple networking. One of the best ways we find buyers is through Facebook groups, meetups, and events. So you can join all the various Facebook groups that promote real estate investing, flipping, wholesaling, you name it. There are buyers in there who are looking for deals. You can also go to your local meetups. There are typically meetups in every single city of people just trying to get together and network and do more deals with each other. That's the whole purpose of the meetup. But probably the best way to find buyers is by going to actual paid events. And in fact, I end up even doing deals with people at my own events because that's why we're there. We're there to learn and get better at real estate investing, but we're also there to network and do deals together. So just get out there and network and start talking to people who are in your market. You could find other flippers, you could find landlords, you could find people that know hedge funds. The point is, networking is super important. Just make sure you're in the right rooms. But the second way to find a lot of buyers is realtors. Like I mentioned before, if you're looking for an owner-occupied buyer, the best people that have those buyers are realtors. And like we've been talking about, the market is so hot right now that there is no inventory anywhere. And so if realtors can get any kind of off-market deal, their buyers are gonna jump at it because they've probably been outbid on a bunch of other properties to this point. So start networking with realtors and let them know that you have deals that are off-market. They're gonna love you. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is when you do a deal with a realtor, there's gonna be more complexity. You're gonna have to pay them a commission or have the buyer pay their commission. You're also gonna have to figure out how the deal will get funded since most buyers are getting loans. But all of that stuff is very easy to solve. Now, even though networking and events are great, there are softwares out there that can help you find these buyers. There's a new software called InvestorLift that I'm really impressed with. Basically, their motto is you've got 2 million buyers in your back pocket because they're gonna do all the work for you. Their software helps you identify all of the top buyers in your market. They help you get their phone numbers and contact info so that you can find these people and start talking to them. Now, there is a cost to their software, but here's the thing. If you're able to get just one buyer who pays $10,000 more than someone else, it's gonna be well worth it. So I'll link to their website down below, and if you use the promo code Ryan Pineda, you'll get 10% off. Now, one thing that they're gonna help you do is find the hedge funds. Typically, these guys with the hedge funds aren't out there networking with other people, and they're not so publicly accessible. But they're gonna have the data to find them and help you get in touch with them. And the reason it's important is because hedge funds are typically the ones paying the most for your deals. Now, as I said before, there are pros and cons to working with hedge funds. Even though they're gonna pay a lot more, they have a lot more restrictions with what kind of house they're gonna buy, what area, what price point, mainly because they plan to hold them for a long time and rent them out. But if your house meets their criteria, you might be able to wholesale it for more than market value. So it's worth getting to know these people and find them. But anyways, wholesaling in 2022 has never been easier. You don't have to get that great of a deal. There are so many new tools out there that are gonna help you find the buyers. You just have to get out there and take action. And do not let the fear of having money stop you from wholesaling, because finding buyers and finding money for your deals has never been easier. And if you want to flip or wholesale at a high level, check out futureflipper.com, where I've helped thousands of students grow their businesses. We've got coaching programs for people just starting out and programs for people who are trying to scale to 7 figures, where I personally teach them. So make sure you go check it out and subscribe to this channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.